Hello, everybody. We are official in having today's Jelly Jam 2024 round one ready to begin. Today's racers include two teams of two who are using a scoring system which happens to match. One thing to be aware of is that this event's scoring system is a little different from what you've seen in previous Jelly Jams. This year's theme is built around the ancient cave community's ROM hacking expertise, mostly thrown out by Real Critical, who is actually here today. You'll see very familiar scenes of score-based stuff from previous Jelly Jams, just because we're sticking to a few points that we know people enjoy. However, one thing that we'll need to emphasize is that by typing the exclamation point scores, you can type and see each individual team's scorecards to see how they have managed to earn the points that they have. You'll also see each team already has points. That's because they have done things which involve some pregame activity, in particular claiming spell elements, which is something that each team will have one person do. Each will claim two different elements for themselves. Until they've officially done something to lose the point, they effectively have the point. So it's just easier to have that displayed. We have commentary from Real Critical and Magic Couple Gaming, specifically Magic Couple Altair today. And as you can see, our racers include on the left teams Mike Mike and Mrs. Mike Mike versus Pankraz and Possomorpheus. Hopefully, and I say this hopefully, you should be able to hear some audio from a particular game, that being the upper right corner's Pankraz game. I say that because every time I've started this in the past, there's been absolutely flips and flops of audio quality. So feel free to tell me that there are things they're not that not that exciting, not that functional, not that balanced, because I can always adjust them based on what you, the audience, tells me. And with that said, I guess we can go ahead and get everything started with today's race. Real Critical and Altair, are you guys with me?
I'm here. Hello.
Hello, hello.
All right. Well, racers, you guys are currently in the chat. I'll be dragging you to your own separate channels momentarily, leaving myself with Altair and Real Critical to handle the actual commentary portion of today's event. The race will start on a 5 count. Real Critical, since you built the trackers, I'm giving you permissions to do the 5 count first. I'm putting you to work.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Big responsibilities.
Well, let's have it. Is everyone ready? I'm assuming so. Yeah, so let's go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck and fun. It was a bit of an improv thing. I hope everyone's ready, but Eli gave me the go ahead. I see a couple of people starting running, so yeah, perfect. Here we go.
All going.
Yep. Yeah, hello from me. Hello, Altair.
Hello. Long time no see.
Yeah, indeed. It was in one of these commentaries, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think it would have been for the Fatal Blowout, but yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. Or the last Jelly Jam, as a matter of fact.
That's right. We didn't run a blowout last year, did we?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, it would have been the last Jelly Jam.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Nice. So, yep. Welcome everyone to Jelly Jam 2024.
It's Jelly. I was lied to.
A tournament where everyone gets to pick their favorite ROM hack, and as such, everyone chose the vanilla game. Very nice.
Yeah, so we're already starting off with a few points on both teams, making some key off-the-cuff decisions about how they want to start their games.
Mm-hmm.
We've got
yeah. I was just gonna say for everyone to follow along, who just missed it when Eli said it, with the exclamation mark scores command, or rather the respective link. up. Once you type that in, you can get the scorecard. You can follow along. It updates automatically. You can see what we're about to be discussing here. So yeah, sorry, Terry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I was actually gonna say, do you want to give them the command to use? So
Yeah. Yep. So one thing that should probably be explained first is that this is very obviously a co-op tournament, which means that the two players on the left, in the blue colors, they are in a team. They combine their points, aka the fruits of their labor, to complete points total, and so do the two players in the orange team, the two people on the right. And yeah, they can either, they can't, there is no linking between the games or anything like that, so they both play their individual seeds, they're randomly rolled seeds. They're gonna each do their thing, but as far as the scores are concerned, they're gonna need to work together in order to beat the other team.
Yep. And are we? Correct me if I'm wrong. I know that there are a few options on game mode, which may sound a little foreign to some of the people in the audience. But there are a couple different builds of the game that were available for this particular tournament. Do we know if any of the players are playing any of those variations on the base cave?
Yeah, that's what I was joking about in the beginning. So neither player, or neither team, I should say, actually chose one of the ROM hacks. So we're both playing vanilla here on both sides, which you can actually see under the score total. That says vanilla scoring under both of them. And you can see it on the scorecard. On the bottom right, only the vanilla game shows up. Yep. So you can very much compare what both teams are supposed to do. And I guess we're gonna get into that once the time comes. But in general, if you want to look at the goals, you can check it out. You can see what they're going for. As a word of caution, the points in the beginning of the game, they already have the certain points they're going for, this and that. Maybe some marking will occur a little bit later. I hope it's going to be, reasonably accurate. We'll see. But players do track their scores themselves. That's probably something that should be added.
Yeah. Right off the bat, we're seeing some pretty good pickups from both sides of the screen here. We've got a few spells up on the table. We've got some, a couple of low cost damaging spells for hunting the game's metal slime, the cores. We've got some revive spells. I just saw a Valor pop up on Mike's screen. Some high level potions. So right off the bat, we're seeing each of the teams get a little better equipped than I personally tend to get on my runs. I'm not upset about that at all.
Not at all, yeah.
Yeah, but for those who are unfamiliar with the cave, the reason that each of them is picking up these boxes, and they seem to be getting a weird variation of items, is that the cave is almost entirely random. We want to see some specific items pop out of these red chests, but what each of the runners is going to get is completely unknown to them outside of certain item pools. So certain things will get added at certain floors, and they can account for that. But generally speaking, they just got to get a little bit lucky or do a little bit of exploring.
Yep, exactly. So a lot in this game is randomly determined, which means that is going to be the key component that players have to, work around, play around. But they can also very much use their knowledge about the things that aren't random to their advantage, basically, pretty much. And there is actually, even though a lot of this game is random, the skill component and knowledge component actually makes it possible to clear more or less each and every run, which is why Eli thought he's going to throw a couple of bonus objective points totals in there, because otherwise it would be a little bit too easy for these very capable runners here, I would say.
And all the people participating in this event have some solid history with the game and with these these tournament runs in general. So they're all, in terms of in terms of knowledge, in terms of experience, they're all very well equipped to handle the things the cave is going to throw at them, which makes it very fun when the unexpected things happen and the rare items show up, and you suddenly have to make some very interesting life choices.
Life choices, yeah. That seems a bit dramatic, perhaps, but I mean, yeah, it sure feels like that when you're playing, right?
I'm a bard. I'm nothing if not dramatic. But
I see.
when it comes down to certain occurrences like having a blue mimic on top of your staircase,
Mhm.
suddenly that drama becomes a very real source of tension, and you have to hope that you can either find something or have found something that'll get you
Mhm.
through.
Yep. The question in chat just was, what happens if any of the runners wipe? The time limit for this race is 2 hours. You can see the countdown in the middle, and until then, they can do whatever they want, which means, including if they take a total party KO, they can re-enter the cave. They can still try and go for these scores here, because while there are points for beating the jelly, you don't actually have to beat the jelly to win, right? So if one team beats the jelly, the other one doesn't, or even if 2 players in one team beat the jelly, the other team doesn't, they can still have more points overall in total. So yeah, nothing
It's
is
an
lost.
it's an entirely viable strategy if
Yep.
you take a wipe, especially at a later portion of the game, and you don't think you'll be able to climb the cave in time, to just focus on some of the point incentives over the what would normally be the goal of the speed run, which is the jelly kill. Now, the
Mhm.
jelly kill is worth points. It's not something to just ignore, but you definitely have options. And that's part of the benefit of having it be a team tournament, is that if one player is doing especially well, the other player is running into a lot of bad luck, you can make decisions to split your foci. Have the player that's doing well focus entirely on the jelly kill, the other player focus entirely on gathering any auxiliary points that have nothing to do with the jelly kill. Um, but it's also entirely possible to take a wipe and then just plow your way through the cave and make it to the jelly anyways. And we've seen that happen in runs before, so don't count any runner out if you see
Yep.
that nice gray screen of death.
Exactly. So obviously, you still want to have that progress, because again, for the uninitiated, there are 99 floors, 98 if you don't count the boss floor. And yeah, some of these points can only be earned if you make some decent progress through the cave. So that will be their goal, and we're here to watch them do it. And you'll also see some curiosities of the cave, such as on the bottom right for Plasmorph screen. That is a treasure room, so lots of enemies, lots of chests.
Yep. And as you can
And
see
yeah,
here, a couple of cores too.
exactly, that's what you were talking about before.
Yep.
The
So
main experience source. Yep,
oh,
treasure room for
double
Pancras as well.
double core party rooms.
Yeah. That's not the worst usually, right? So in these rooms, more enemies than usual will appear. However, in treasure rooms, they tend to quickly go into a corner that you don't want them to, such as on Osmorphous screen there. It's still fine, you know. On these early stages, enemies are unlikely to kill you, and you definitely want to have red cores, because it's, yeah, as I said, it's your primary experience source. You want to kill these enemies and nothing else, basically. For the first 20 floors.
And it looks like
Some
Pank's
tournament
getting
safety,
his.
perhaps. Yep.
Yep. Mike might be getting as well here. Yep, with the bolt. Yep. So the reason that everyone is using spells on these enemies right here is that if you're familiar with, say, the Dragon Quest games or Final Fantasy, you've got your metal slimes and your chocobos. Enemies that are hard to hit might have a lot of HP, and you usually need to luck out on a crit or hope that they stick around because they're faster than you and have a tendency to run away. In Lufia 2, these enemies have such a high magic defense that it actually wraps all the way back around to having none at all. So a offensive spell will take care of them really quickly and guarantee a massive amount of EXP. Or sorry, Cactuars. Yes, not Chocobos. My bad. Fake Final Fantasy fan over here. Sorry.
Fortunately, you called it quickly before slaying a whole lot of chocobos. You know?
Oh gosh.
As far as attack spells are concerned, though, now that you mention it, we do have these nice spell elements on the low right of every runner's game feed. So you can see for Mike, for example, Thunder and Water. So these are, if you pay attention to the scorecard on the right column, the second from the top. So each player has to claim 2 of the 4 elements, and only those elements can be cast if that team wants to keep that point. That means that Mike casting Bolt was within his elements, whereas Mrs. Mike could not have used that same spell, or other. Well, she could have, but that would have lost the team the point.
Yep.
So just so you get an idea how some of these goals here work.
Same with Pank using the Blizzard spell to kill his cores here. Fire and Ice will get him a couple of extra cores, actually. He has at least 3. There's a decent amount of EXP, bring you up to level 13. Gives you a nice agility boost to run away from encounters, or just kill enemies that much more quickly.
Yep. So these cores here are really kind of the developers to place them here. That is, basically you can go through this entire cave just by killing cores if you wanted to, or if the floors allowed you to. One other thing I want to say is that both Pancras and Mike, perhaps some of the other players too, and I missed it, have already picked up Zap. So that would be the strongest attack spell, and it doesn't have it is a light element, aka one that does not have to be picked by a player. So both of these will be happy to have it, because that's just something where they don't have to worry about the elements. They can just cast it. It's going to be a strong spell anyway. Be done with it.
Yep. And they'll definitely want to try and keep a lower level spell in their back pockets, just because it makes it a little more efficient to hunt cores without worrying about your MP reserve, since magic restoration items are also randomly gotten out of chests. But it always gives them something good to fall back on.
Yep.
Has everyone gotten at least 1 core, I think, for this early section of the game?
The only one I didn't see get any cores, but that could be because I missed Mrs. Mike.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm questioning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the Decker Blade on Pancras, first of the day.
And the second Curse Lifter, if I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that would be quite a strong start.
A little victory
leave
spin.
it up to you. I leave it and Valor. I leave it up to you. Which of these amazing items you want to explain? I'll just take the other one.
Yeah, sure. Let's start with that Decker Blade. That beautiful Decker Blade. So, in trying to kill the jelly at the end of the cave has a massive amount of health, a giant pool of 9,980 HP. And especially in an ancient cave speed run, you're probably not going to have enough time to gather the massive amount of levels that you'd need to make your damage go over the top. So you've got to make some decisions on how you're going to approach that kill. Now, thankfully, there are weapons in the game that have special attacks called IP attacks. You can see that IP meter underneath the health and MP meter that allow you to do really cool things. And one of those cool things is deal a percentage of an enemy's health in damage. Now, there's a range of these weapons across the game, and they're all pretty good, but the best one is the Decker Blade, which does a whopping half of a character's current health, or an enemy's current health, as HP damage. So for taking out that 9,980 HP, that weapon is almost essential. I say almost, there are ways of getting around it, but it is definitely the thing that you want to see the most in any jelly killing run.
Yep. So I'll very quickly, since Eli is whipping us to answer a couple more questions here, so I'll very quickly try and cover the Curse Lifters. So there are a few items in the game called Deadly Weapons, or we call them Deadly Weapons. They're called Deadly Sword, Deadly Rod, and Fatal Pick. And these weapons have an 80% instant kill chance for most enemies, which means that for no matter how big an enemy is, you fight some really scary big dragons later on, you can just hit them once with a deadly weapon. There's an 80% chance that you just killed them. And yeah, those weapons are quite obviously very strong for these speedruns. You rarely get any kind of instant kill chance that's recognizable in our games, and this game gives you 80%. So yeah, very good weaponry.
Yeah, 20% of the time it works 80% of the time.
Exactly. So there is one downside, which means which is that once you equip them, you cannot unequip them without a curse lifter. But that should not be Pancras's problem because he already collected 2 curse lifters, meaning that yeah, he can handle everything that would usually, get in your way as far as cursed weapons go. You normally do not equip more than 2 cursed weapons anyway. 3 is like the maximum you want to intentionally equip, so yeah, nothing to worry about there. Everyone else, maybe still something to worry.
We'll say thank you to Fiery Blizzard for the raid. Much appreciated. Hope you guys are all having a good day today. Welcome to the Jelly Jam. You've come at pretty much the beginning of the run, so we hope that you have a fun time. If you have any questions, let us know. Let's catch up on the questions we're getting whipped to answer here.
Yeah, so Eli was... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to read the question. What happens if Possum uses his Thunder Rings Bolt IP? I'm guessing this is in terms of the elemental restrictions here.
I was about to say, deals damage. What do you want?
It hurts.
Yeah. Yep, that does not invalidate the point. So only magic spells, aka things that actually consume MP, do count for the point. Everything else, like IP skills, they can freely use.
And then, where's our other question here? Has it happened that someone killed the jelly and just restarted to get more points?
I believe, I'm not sure if that's in the current rules, I would have to check that, but as someone else in chat already had answered, normally the run ends when you kill the jelly.
Yep.
In previous jelly jams, though, that was not the case, so let me just very quickly... Oh, actually, how about Eli answer this one?
Yeah, I don't recall it occurring, so if it has, it'd be some news to me.
Run ends when jelly's downed. There we go.
Alrighty.
Thank you for the confirmation.
Yep. Second Decker Blade. Both.
Oh, nice. Who got it?
That's Possum Morpheus. So both of our orange team members rocking the Decker Blade.
Mm-hmm. So I was actually going to say something else. You said that everyone here is well versed, and of course, I guess we can maybe very quickly go over who's actually competing here. So Mike, and Mrs. Mike have actually won one of these Jelly Jams here in the past. So they are dubbed the returning champions in the, in the draft, in the team name draft.
Yep.
So yeah, they definitely know what they're doing. Pancras has been for, 1 or 2 years or something like that. Yeah, active in the community as well as in tournaments, and has gotten some notable success, whereas Posomorphous, I believe, is very, very new to the community, has only recently posted they finished their first run, and yeah, well, I wouldn't be able to say more about it without guessing. Yeah, I would still assume that due to their background in the Final Fantasy
speedrunning community,
pro gaming Final Fantasy community. Again, I can't say anything more without guessing because I'm not perfectly knowledgeable about their background. But yeah, I will very much assume that they will do very well here.
Well, let's put it this way. Everyone except Mrs. Mike runs FF Free Enterprise. I don't know what that is. I couldn't possibly tell you. But I'm sure it's here on RPG Limit Break. Well, I think that's a good thing for everyone to know, is that you don't have to have years of experience in playing the Ancient Cave in order to come in and enjoy and do a good job in these competitions. They're very
Mhm.
open to anyone who just wants to get into the game. There's plenty of resources on the Ancient Cave Discord, which you can reach by hitting the command !Discord, I believe. And there's so much to gain from the community in terms of resources and personal assistance. So that if you even have a passing interest in playing the Ancient Cave and doing the speed run, you're gonna find a lot of people willing to, give you a hand and encourage you to do things like the Jelly Jam.
Yeah, exactly. We are always happy to see new players of this game. I think everyone in the community thinks that it's a very underrated RPG that deserves to be played by literally everyone. Everyone outside the community must be thinking whatever. But
Who are
yeah,
these
it's
people?
it's definitely worth trying it out. The game itself. There is a story DLC to this one, and because it's 1996, it's already included on the cartridge. But
Yeah.
yeah, there is a story. It's a wonderful story. You can definitely enjoy that. And this Ancient Cave game mode is basically a bonus.
Yeah, I haven't played the DLC yet, I admit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm still, I still have not experienced the actual story of this game. I came in for the Ancient Cave right off the bat, so you don't even need to have nostalgia for
Hmm.
this game to really get a
Yeah.
big kick out of it.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and only recently we added a how to start speedrunning guide to the Discord. So
Yeah.
no time like the present to get started. That should hopefully have everything to get you started. And if you have any questions, of course, there's always people that are happy to help.
Yeah.
All right, so sorry for
No, I was just gonna
interrupting you
try and
again. You know
answer,
how it is.
try to address some more questions. It's tough when there's so much going on with 4 screens and an entire chat full of interested people. But let's see, Emma's asking.
Which is good.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Any notable items on either end? We've got a couple Decker Blades, one on each of our right side participants. We've got a few Zaps. I think 3 of 4 runners have Zap at this point. 2 have Valor. I saw Postmorpheus just pick up Rally. We've got quite a
Nice.
few blue chest items, a couple gold eyes, a silver eye, a smattering of spells. I think Mike has Trick, which is a very positive attack boosting spell, good for hunting down the jelly. No Gady's Blade yet, which is a blue chest item that does quite a... I was waiting for Postmorpheus to pull one
I
out
was
of
about
the
to say.
chest. Which you'll see paired along with the Decker Blade as a very powerful jelly-killing weapon, as opposed to the Decker Blade, which is a fractional weapon, does a percentage of HP. The Gady's Blade is what we classify as a finisher, which is it does a lot of damage that is based on your attack, not on your percentage of health. And so you want to have a couple fractionals to deal that initial damage, and then big finishing attacks that will clear off the remaining bit of the jelly's health. I think besides that, we've got a bunch of curse lifters on
Yeah.
Pank's side. We've seen a few
And a bunch of
swords.
deadly swords for Mrs. Mike.
Yep. We still haven't seen whether or not they're the good deadly sword or the bad deadly sword yet,
Yeah.
but they're still cool to have pick up, especially if you find curse lifters later. Helps you get through later floors. So we've got a good selection of weapons and items across both teams at the moment. So we're starting off nice and strong. A lot of really interesting options available.
Another question was whether chests are seeded also. Not any other way than the game does it normally, right? So players will know whether there will be... So Decker Blades, for example, start at floor 15 and then will be available through floor 98. So players know that, obviously, because that's baked in the game. But there are no known seeds, so players have no chance of knowing, hopefully, um, which chests contain what items. And when they're opening some chests and avoiding others, that's very likely due to them only want to be spending so much time on the floor. And yeah, kind of want to prioritize get to the stairs. So if there's any chest right on their way, like within just a couple of tiles between the shortest path to the stairs, they're more likely to open it probably than if they had to go a lot out of their way to get to it. So that would be my guess. But yeah, there could of course be other reasons as well.
Of course, not being a direct speed run, there is a 2-hour time limit no matter what you do. There is a lot less chest skipping and enemy skipping than you might see in a more traditional run of the game. Runners have a little more freedom to explore, to grab chests out of treasure rooms, and to hunt down specific enemies that might drop powerful items that will aid them in their fight. For example, we've got Pancraz, who is just trying to hunt down some blue crabs, the cancers, which drop the useful cancer rock. Very powerful IP attack finisher for a low IP cost. Really good for taking care of the jelly later in the game and for getting through some tougher fights if it becomes necessary.
Yep. Pancras just found Ice Walk, aka the strongest spell within the elements that he's allowed to use. So that's very nice. And also, since that has been the topic of discussion in chat a while ago, there is a point for not equipping any blue chest gear. So I actually think that is something that the orange team could mark and would just get 2 more points from. Because I'm not aware that they actually did equip any blue chest gear. But in any case, if they want to have that point at the end, they're never allowed to equip any of those items.
Yep, I think they've been avoiding auto-equipping. I know Pos Morpheus has that sizzle sword, probably trying to avoid putting that on. I don't think either of them have equipped their respective eyes that they've pulled from the blue chests, so I think at least until they get to the jelly floor and think, oh, is it worth it to go for a kill versus getting the blue chest point, they might want to have one of them make a decision as to whether or not they can secure a kill without their blue chest equipage.
Yeah, so one of the great things about the speedrunner, at the very least any percent, is that there's a lot of ways to get, the kind of equipment together that you need to get a kill. So to get a jelly kill, that is. And you can back up not finding the right items by killing enemies to get enemy drops. You can find blue chests which contain weapons with like insanely strong attack power. And the opposite is true as well, right? So if you have amazingly good blue chest weapons, you still don't need them to get the kill, right? You can back that up with other stuff that you find and get the kill that way. So that is kind of these runners' challenge. So personally, I gotta say though, what would really drive me crazy as someone who is used to use the strongest command is avoid the strongest command and manually equip every single item every single time. So yeah, but that's what sets these guys apart from like average speedrunners of this game like I am.
100%. Definitely my first inclination would just be to drop the item entirely and not have to worry about it. But it, as Ellison pointed out in chat, they do make good food for your pets. You can see everyone's got that 5th party member that doesn't seem to have any stats on the screen, but they still do some stuff. You've got this little companion monster, and he's got some neat abilities. And if you feed him, he gets a little bigger, and a little bigger, and a little bigger. And some of them are very useful in doing damage when they decide they don't want to just skip their turns. But it helps give that little bit of edge in any given fight, or serve as a meat shield in the case of a strong enemy.
Yep. They go through quite some interesting phases as well, but let's not talk about that. At this
come
point,
on.
anyway.
What's your favorite? Let's be honest.
Sully, obviously. I mean,
No, like your favorite visual form.
Oh, any individual form? I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if I can talk about favorite, but the most curious one is certainly that green giant that looks like it has a full diaper on. That's all I'll be saying.
I'm particularly inclined towards the giant Moai head that just kind of
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. Sully 4.
Solely for.
And then, of course, a fan favorite is Zeppy 5,
Yeah.
but I doubt we'll see that today. Let's see
Have
if we
anyone
see
brought
any
Zeppy?
capsule forms here today. Other than the first. So.
We'll see. I've seen a bit of feeding on a couple of the screens, but they might just been to get rid of items rather than to actually evolve the capsule monster. There's no capsule monster incentive. Almost always use
there's
the
an
same
incentive.
form in tandem.
Exactly.
Is our
Yep. So
thing. So they don't have to get to max on any of the individual capsule monsters, as might have been the
Exactly,
case in some other incentives.
But if one player in the team wants to go to the, say, form 4, the other player has to do so as well, or they lose the point.
Yeah, which is a little easier said than done, because there is it's a pretty arcane system, but there is a rationality behind what you feed to your capsule monsters. And depending on the order in which you feed your items, you may find it difficult to actually raise their feeding value. So you got to be a little careful. You don't want to accidentally lose a point to mismanagement of nummies.
Yep. It's a really complicated system. We did figure it out in the community a couple of years ago how that works exactly, but yeah, I wouldn't dare try to explain it now.
We've got a chart in the Discord if you're really interested in the feeding habits of your monsters. We got it for you, but I don't know if anyone could say that they've got it memorized. If anyone, it would have been you. So.
Well, actually, that's not the case. If anyone, it would have been Mike. Actually, we've had some discussions about it. I also want to point out that since
everyone's saying Chico,
or has been, yeah, it's been Chico that figured it out. So definitely shout outs there. Yeah, there's some good ninja movement to see here on Mike's screen, or probably assassin movement.
I think it's assassins right now. Yeah.
Kind of cool. So that is a very nice point for me, not only to segue into talking about what's actually happening in these runs here, for the first time in like 20 minutes.
Just call me out,
but also, no, it's cool. I'm doing the same thing, But also, I mean, point in case, I'm gonna straight segue back away from that and talk about movement in general, not what we're about to see. But yeah, just to mention it, these enemies here, they have certain movement patterns, and you can see these runners making very educated decisions about where to go, avoiding enemies in the cave as much as possible, which also allows them to get free first strikes, which is when they attack an enemy from the back, or a 50% chance in first strike when they attack an enemy from the side. So there's a lot of tactical, even on this overworld, and that's kind of a bonus part to the battle system. So yep.
Yeah. It also highlights a particular element of Lufia too that makes the Ancient Cave as a roguelike speedrun a little more feasible. Is that no enemy will move unless you, as the player, take an action. So when they're stopping and stuttering their movements, it's not because there's some sort of stutter stepping function like there might be in like Final Fantasy that allows you to avoid overworld encounters. All the enemies are laid out on the screen for you, and they will only move if you take a step or swing your sword. So you have full control over when enemies will take their movement on the field. So it allows you to, instead of having to rush through and avoid preset enemy patterns, you have the full control to look at the screen, analyze what exactly is going on with your enemies and plan the optimal route, or the closest to an optimal route, through a particularly difficult room.
Hmm. Exactly, and again, that also makes it very easy for beginner runners to get into the game because there is no need to actually, as you said, rush through any rooms, but you can take your time, you can analyze these enemies, you can get better at it. Of course, what people actually do is not do that and just go guns blazing and die, but you actually have this ability, and I very much recommend that you do exercise. Yeah,
It is rare to say that
when dealing with enemies.
it's always fun when the optimal strategy in a speed run is to take a breather and go slow, but when it's between going guns a-blazing and risking a death when you've got a guaranteed kill, or slowing down and taking a minute to really plan your route, sometimes the best thing to do is to just take that bit of a breath and let yourself actually analyze what's going on the screen.
Yep, nothing loses more time than losing the run itself. So.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, I gotta make sure that everyone understands. I didn't mean to call anyone out in terms of doing something wrong with movement, but I can definitely call out runners like Pancras for coming into the community and like really studying the knowledge behind enemy movement. You know, all the different key factors that make it possible to run this game as fast as possible, and that's usually the kind of runner that I see like climbing to the top really fast. So yeah, there is definitely merit to studying all this stuff, and it does make you better as a runner and gives you better results in the end. So
and of course,
I'm also not gonna go ahead.
Of course, you'll eventually reach a point after so many runs where you can look at a room and say, "Oh, I can just blaze my way through this. None of these enemies are going to touch me if I go this path." You'll just notice it. You'll see it. Like the matrix will appear before you, and you'll understand enemy movement patterns. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so
Getting nervous.
With the ninja?
Yeah, you see it on, now that we've reached these 40th floors, we've got a lot of these encounters with our blue-robed ninja friends. These
that
guys
you can see
are...
on Pancras' screen on the top right now.
Which, again, that movement, this enemy that is incredibly dangerous can end a run very easily. Was able to get a back attack, or side attack, the 50% chance of winning initiative, and just getting a free turn to wail on him. And you can see with that knife thrower, if he hadn't done that, that probably would have been the end of the run right there.
Yep. Yeah, so that is one of the enemies that's probably one of the most dangerous, especially for new runners, I want to say, because their movement pattern is moving at twice the speed that you are as a player, so there's no way you're going to outrun them unless you block them. And in order to block them, you really need to understand how enemies move. So coincidentally, them moving twice has a couple of interesting bugs that we can abuse with proper knowledge. So they're actually one of the enemies that has a lot of tech to actually avoid them. But I guarantee you, if you play this as a new runner with absolutely no background, they'll just come for you and they slaughter you. And there's nothing you want to do about it, and nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, sometimes they just end a run, and the cave said not today.
So, yeah, and since we talked about patience earlier, it's also the one enemy where you really want to just, hold, assess the situation, and the worst thing you can do is just run, because they'll outrun you,
Yep.
Don't fight them on
punish
their
it bad.
terms. Yep.
Speaking of interesting enemies, though, and making decisions, we can see on Mike's screen just a few minutes ago, on Pancras' screen right now, these blue lizard guys with the tridents. The reason they're fighting these guys isn't just for EXP, it's for the item that Pancras just grabbed and Mike grabbed a second ago, and that is the Twist Jewel. A nice speed boosting item. Normally, you can get them in a blue chest, but since these particular twist jewels are not out of a chest, I think they are clear for the blue chest equipment incentive.
Yep,
they don't
you would be
trigger
correct.
a point deduction, same way that an IP spell attack doesn't trigger the spell restriction.
Yep. So farming an item like that is very nice because the twist jewel is an insane agility boost. So yeah, it gives you plus 30 agility, and agility is hands down the most useful stat in this game, especially once you have a deadly weapon, because you can outspeed enemies. Which means you can act before them. You can instant kill them with your instant kill weapon, and that enemy is never going to deal a single point of damage to you, or is never going to act at all. So it also helps you with running away. It's a really good stat to upgrade, and the twist jewel is the best item to boost your stats.
You'll find that there are a few other blue chest items that have similar properties. The gold silver eyes being obtainable from silver and gold dragons. You never want to be in a position where you obtain those items from a fight, because those are enemies that even on a non-speed run can just end your game real quickly. But they provide good attack boosts and agility boosts in the case of the Silver Eye as well. So there's a few items like that you want to grab from an enemy. Yep. Oh, nice ninja block on Pancraz's screen.
Yeah, the Pancraz's game feed right now is looking like some action movie from the 90s, because all I'm seeing is ninjas everywhere getting slaughtered by the main character. So not exactly a very fortunate turn of events. However, Pancraz definitely knows how to move around him, as I saw. And
yeah, we're already seeing the benefit of the agility boost on that twist jewel, letting Artie get the first move against the normally incredibly fast ninjas to land that deadly rod swing. Looks like might get out of this without any trouble. Yep, double deadlies before the ninjas can do their nonsense means that hunting down those blue lizards was 100% worth it.
Yep, and this, at the same time, Mike might slightly disagree with you, because I'm looking at a battle that, has him make some very good decisions in order to have his run not die here. And it looks like he did, though. So
there we go. Whew. Yeah, even
there was a double encounter.
Oh God!
Oh wow!
We both had a moment of panic.
Yeah, so a battle in this game triggers when you stand next to an enemy. So if you stand next to two enemies, then those encounters will happen once after another. And yeah, that's what just happened for Mike. And if the first encounter already almost, as you wipe with only one character left, then that cannot be a pleasant situation. But of course, we have our different characters in the party, and there are two very notable characters here, which are Decker and Artie. Artie being the fastest character, and therefore one we almost always bring into the cave. At the same time, Decker being one of the slowest, but that's fine, but he's also very much the tankiest out of all the characters. With you can kind of sort of back up lack of agility, but you cannot back up tankiness and HP. So Decker is a very nice character in tandem with being able to equip the Decker Blade in the first place. That's the only character that you explained earlier. Awesome.
Very convenient that he happens to be the tankiest character as well.
Yeah.
The dual purpose of
imagine there was a Guy Blade,
oh gosh. yeah, it's called the Gades Blade.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough.
Misto Jewel over on Possum.
Nice.
2% drop off of the Assassins. Always a funny. Doesn't really help you. It's a nice bit of a defense if you don't have another jewel to equip. But it is always funny to see the 2% drop.
Yeah, it's AC Ref actually says 2.5%. I thought that sounded weird, but not that it makes that much of a difference. Right? Because,
no, the 0.5% matters.
Very rare. Yeah, I mean, no wonder he got it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a higher chance off of the ninjas than the assassins, but you never ever want to get an item drop off of ninjas because it means that you had to fight ninjas.
Yeah, some of these enemies you want to farm, like the Prince Lizards, they drop a really good item with a Twist Jewel, and they're not all that scary to fight. Whereas Ninja are kind of on the opposite side of the bar, you know, and the 2% chance is just not worth it.
There's a little icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, sure, you're gonna be happy when you get it, you know, but you can never expect to get it.
No, you never want to be in the position where it becomes something you can get. I guess is where it lies.
Yep.
Yeah, I just saw an attempt to get Hedora Rock as well.
Are they already at the right kind of Hedora though? Not sure. Because the juicy one starts at floor 53.
It was a C Hedora. So.
Oh, it was a C Hedora. Okay.
Yeah, that should drop the Hedora. Right?
Yeah, it does.
So I guess Pancrase might be a little further along than we've been keeping track of.
Yep. Which is good, you know. I mean, there is. Eli said himself before, there is no reason to go fast, right? So.
No.
There is kind of a reason to go fast, because if you're the first or second player among the 4 players to reach the final floor, you will get a point for that. So if your team makes it there first, that's a 2-point advantage over the other team. However, if you move too fast, you might not get there at all.
Exactly.
So, yeah. In general, you have 2 hours. These players still have 1 hour and 12 minutes left, and I think both teams are reasonably close or even over the halfway point, which is floor 50.
So Mike and Pan should both be about like the 53 to 55 floors, and we can see Mrs. Mike, and Possum both.
Yeah, they're
within
both still in the late 30s.
Yep, assassin territory. They're actually both dealing with them. So both teams pretty much neck and neck across the board.
Yeah.
Trying to gather up some items and just make their run a little more guaranteed. Let's see. Is the usual rule in effect where if you hit the bottom floor, you have time after 2 hours to get the kill, or is it instant time stop this year?
I'm assuming that's the case. However, still, Eli can probably enlighten us.
I don't remember that being changed, but
yeah.
Yes doesn't help, Eli. Yes for what? It looks like a yes on the if you reach the bottom floor before 2 hours, you have time, even if you go over those 2 hours, to actually plan and secure your kill.
Yep. Which makes a lot of sense in, like, you know, even outside the rules department. Like, what are we gonna do? Are we just gonna cut the stream, you know? So we're gonna watch the jelly kill, so might as well count it.
Yep, and make sure if someone gets the jelly floor, you guys have your calculators ready, because you have to make sure that you're keeping track of the damage.
Yep.
We'll try and shout the numbers as we go, but that's always my favorite part of the run. Just getting to count down someone's damage and cheer for the potential kill.
Yeah, sure. It's a nice, you know, what is it called? Like a sense of conclusion, you know, like you're watching this whole struggle, and then the jelly is like, for everyone who doesn't know, you get 3 turns to kill the boss of this cave, which is the Master Jelly, and for those 3 turns, the jelly doesn't fight back. He's like, yeah, come at me, bro. Let's see what you got. 9,980 HP, and if you manage to kill him, that's fine. Otherwise, he's gonna laugh at you and teleport away. So yeah.
Well, in terms of killing, it's looking a lot nicer on Pank's screen. He just picked up a Lizard Blow, which is the strongest finisher weapon outside of a Gades Blade, and a little more equipable than the Gades Blade. Yep. So that puts him at. Does he have a Deadly Rod at this point?
He has a Deca Blade. I think he has a Deadly.
I know he has a Fatal Pick. I know he picked up a Fatal Pick. I don't know if he picked up a Deadly Rod.
Mm-hmm.
But yes.
But he has Curse Lifter, so I mean, why would he worry about a Fatal Pick? You know, just equip it.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Speaking of Curse Lifter, Possum getting one as well. Another
Yeah,
deadly
and Mrs.
sword.
Mike picks
from
up another deadly sword.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
at
we
least
might
one of them
see
is the
in
real
a
one.
second here. If he goes into his equip menu, we'll see what Artie's got now. Well, either way, that means they're very
Oh, a lizard
strong.
blow for Mike as well.
Ooh, beautiful.
These teams are really trying to go neck to neck, you know?
They are. They said any item you can get, I can get too.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, it looks like it's going well for Pank's kill assembly here. Decker Blade, Lizard Blow, Zap on Artie, and I'm pretty sure I saw Red Saber among the Maxim weapons, which is a 3 times, so probably just one more fractional. He might pick up a Gorgon Eye later on if he needs to. And he's got the Cancer Rock, so we're seeing
yeah,
a kill
nice.
get assembled on Pank. We're seeing a kill get assembled on Mike. I don't know if he picked up a Decker Blade yet. I don't think so. But starting to assemble. He's got the Lizard Blow. He's got Trick, which I don't think anyone else has picked up yet, which is super useful.
Mm. In terms, excuse me. In terms of Decker Blade, I think we're relying on the chat to absolutely go wild when that happens, in case we miss it. And since that didn't happen, yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that Pancras is the only one this round still with the Decker Blade. However,
no, Possum also has one. It's Team
Possum
Double
also has
Decker.
one. Oh, nice.
Yes, the right side
Well,
is
then-
Team Double Decker over there. So.
I see. Right, you mentioned it before.
Yes,
Right.
I'm trying to keep track of who gets a Decker Blade because I love when people get it.
That's good, because I'm pretty old, you know, I can't remember stuff. So, yeah.
That's not true. Your game knowledge far surpasses mine. I can just
I mean,
notice 4 screens a little more effectively, I guess. I'm the eyes,
fair.
you're the
I'll
mind.
take that. I'll take that, even though I don't know how true that is anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way. You're here when others are not, so...
Yeah, because they're asleep or, you know, had better things to do, maybe.
Alright, well, I wasn't gonna say why, but, you know,
Didn't
as you
send
do.
Eli a Discord PM saying, like, am I in commentary every single day this past week?
I had to reconfirm with him that I was doing it too. I'm like, he messaged me this morning and I see that there's 6 people in chat. I'm like, wait, hold on. Is there enough here already? We good?
Oh, nice one, Eli. I see. I see how it is.
Oh my gosh. All the old heads in our community.
Yeah, it is an old game, you know. A lot of us, including myself, played it in their childhood and yeah, stuck with it.
Yeah, reminder that you're never too ancient to play the ancient cave.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh man.
So let's see. Yeah, you're definitely getting our hopes up here to see at least one jelly kill for the orange side.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hedora
Mike
Rock
Mike is
over
well
there
equipped,
as
you
well.
said.
Yeah.
I've seen Mrs. Mike open a lot, but I haven't seen her opening a lot of very impressive stuff, which is of
She has
course not
gotten
her
a
fault.
lot of spells, a good collection of recovery items, lots of MP. I don't see her
Mhm.
running out of magic anytime soon.
Yeah.
But
But
not.
that doesn't kill the jelly.
Yeah, it does not kill the jelly. We got our final set of cores on Pank's screen. The
Mhm.
no cores, those little delicious-looking balls of nothing over there.
Yep.
But they give
They're
it
proof that it's not the cores that give the experience, but the jelly around it.
Yep. Eat your jelly, kids.
Yeah.
And a rally to bump
And
up
a
those
rally.
chances even more.
It's really nice. So I would say from my, you know, modest commentary seat here that Pancras has really a lot that the cave gave him in this run.
Yeah, 2 no cores too to help out with those levels. These things give 55,555 EXP. The most out of any of those cores by far.
Any
Really
enemy
nice.
actually in the cave.
Yep.
Yep. So they're barely at the end of the 50 floors here, but no enemy coming up, including like gold dragons and whatever later on. Not even the Master Jelly will give more than the 55,000 experience.
Nope. Yeah, that poor Master Jelly EXP.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, it looks like our left side team is going for the second tier feeding over here. This is Mike finishing up her feeding, but Mike having leveled up to the second tier.
Oh, he already did.
Yeah, he just finished leveling up his. Looks like Mrs. Mike's just finishing up her Darby.
Ah, I see. So what he's doing is waiting until there's a form 2 on Mrs. Mike, and then he gets into the encounter. I see. That's interesting.
Yep. And there we go. That's form 2 for the Darby.
Yep. Very nice.
Yeah, I keep looking at these blue chests on Pank and expecting that Gades blade any minute now.
Any second now, yeah.
It's
like,
gonna happen.
I don't know, the drop chance for the Gades blade is so small, but like,
yeah,
it's kind of like every blue chest you don't open is basically guaranteed to be a Gades blade. That's some kind of lore in the community. So
yeah. So Allison's looking for the Gades blade as well.
Yep.
I never see it in runs, so I always
blade,
love to see it happen in a marathon or in a tournament.
Yep, so on the blue team, we now have 2 very amazing capsule monsters. There is Sully 2 for Mike. Next time he's going to get into a battle, we're all going to see it, which is the amazing transformation that I was talking about before, from Radish into Mini Knight, like, I don't know, you do your guesses, whereas Mrs. Mike brings the amazing Disco Wolf.
I love the Disco Wolf.
Yep, Disco Wolf is pretty good. I mean, not the capsule, but the flavor.
The design.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said, the capsule monsters are, I think, unintentionally one of the visual highlights of the game.
Mm-hmm.
They're so random that you can't help but love every single one of them.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Disco Wolf in particular is gonna have fun because it is a Saturday night, at least for me and everyone else in Europe. But yeah, each and every one of those designs, as we said before, the evolves don't really make any sense. Yeah, bubbles, fox. I mean,
your bubbles don't turn into foxes. Like my bats are always
not all
horrific because all my I get out and there's just 40 foxes that pop out as well.
Oh man, my condolences. I mean, yeah, that does not sound pleasant.
I live a strange and interesting life, RC.
I see. Yeah, each and every tournament, I'm getting to know more of it. We're sitting here at commentary.
Yeah, I think the best part is that it's never the same thing.
It's definitely a bonus.
And from Kanda Kitsune, it makes the most sense ever, of course.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It definitely can be said though that these capsule designs are very interesting, and they probably said, yeah, who cares if it makes sense? We're just gonna put these designs in there, and we basically have 35 Pokemon in our game now.
Yeah.
So,
it was the 90s. Like, you just had to make things look good. You didn't have to make them make sense.
Yep.
Gaming was very different.
Yep, I'm seeing red plants being brought up in chat, and they are indeed a very scary enemy. I think it's the first enemy that attacks 3 times during their turn.
I think you're correct.
That's not really what you want.
But definitely not what Artie wanted.
Yep. Pathomorphus already has level 27 here as far as experience goes, and that is a level where in any percent you can already fight the jelly with this level, right? And
and he still has
just about the halfway point.
The no cores left to pick up too, so we might see. In these runs, it's not too uncommon to see people reach level 33, 34. Even without having to go out and hunt giants with deadly weapons.
Yep.
So
2 hours
Usually.
means you just have so much more time than normal to fight enemies, so naturally you're doing them.
Mm-hmm. Also, plenty of time to pick up all the MP items that they need to keep their characters topped off through those fights. Second lizard blow for Mike. That's a double finisher right now. My guy needs a Decker Blade, but after that, between double lizard blow and trick and zap, that's looking really convincing.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. I'm looking at the points, which have not changed in a very, very long time. And I find myself looking at the score table to actually check out which goals these players are missing. So there are a couple ones that are related to the final floor, which are very obviously not within reach quite just yet. I do see that both teams still have the opportunity to open 6 chests in a single treasure room, or yeah.
Yep. Iris Sword.
Yeah, there is a bunch of Iris items being thrown around. Mike has at least 2 of them there, so. And Pancras already has one. I don't know who just found one. Oh, that's probably
goodness.
Mike found the Iris Sword, yeah.
Yeah, Mike found the Iris Sword.
Very meme item that always comes up during these community events, even though it doesn't do anything at all.
Actually, something I just realized about the tracker. So Mike and Mrs. Mike have it pre-marked not to equip anything from the blue chest. Pank and Possum have not marked theirs yet, but they have, at least as far as I've been paying attention up till this point, are also fulfilling that incentive. So points right now are about 8 to 6 at least, which is a little closer than the tracker might be reflecting.
I would think so as well. However, I'm not 100% it, and I would be surprised if those players did not notice that goal. So maybe they're aware of it, but
they might be aware and just holding off on marking the points until they've finished the run and can account for the fact that they did not equip those items.
Yep.
Which is fair.
Yep, for sure.
Okay. And then I don't think anyone has done the same rock or jewel equipped to Maxim. Oh, nope, actually, never mind.
Yep.
There we go.
This Mike just did.
On the twist jewels, yep.
Yeah, so that probably means that, well, it does mean that Mike still needs to mark that point. But, yep, it looks like that might happen in a minute here. Once he realizes that
it just updated for me.
Yep.
Which means now it's up to Pank and Possum to see if they can't match equips here. Although Possum looks like he's in a bit of a pickle. With okay, good, he's out. Those skulls are horrifying.
Yep. With that kind of level, some enemies can still be dangerous. A few particular ones come to mind, but in general, with that kind of level, you can, even if you make a mistake or even if you come in a situation which does challenge you, which is I'm expecting happen, or I mean, it was a teleporting skull, so that's something that even the best runners run into every once in a while. Yep, it's not as scary if you have enough experience and therefore a lot of HP.
Oh, that is a painful staircase.
There's a long corridor for Pancras. It's only 3 nodes long, but it's...
got the back attack against the leeches. Will we see the old sword? That would be an incredible pickup there.
Old sword would be good, of course. Another very rare drop. He did pick up the old armor just a couple of chests ago. So
actually, if he picks up an old sword off of these leeches here, that's okay. He didn't, but that would have been just a kill. Decker Blade, old sword, Cancer Rock, Lizard Blow, Zap. That'd probably do it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has to worry about it. Basically, as long as you have a Decker Blade, there yeah, there's really not that much you have to do to make it work, especially given the time of 2 hours, where you can actually get a couple of extra levels if you need to, farm a couple of Gorgon rocks if you need to. So
Yeah.
there
Also
is
makes for just a
there's
generally
really,
good equip too.
Mhm,
Nice
yeah.
high damage weapon.
Wait, the Deca Blade?
Oh no! The old sword.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. Like it's useful in terms of just being incredibly high power as well.
Yeah. Oh, we're seeing a couple of Orkies here. That's
Oh god.
Yep.
I just said nope. I'm out.
So these enemies, I just said how the red plants were a problem because they're attacking 3 times in a single turn. These Orkies attack no less than 8 times in their turn. Well, sometimes less than 8 times in turn if you're really lucky.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky and they kill almost your entire party, and then they octoblast, and you get to continue on with your run to the bafflement of Ellison.
Yep. So what you're seeing here is Pancras doing his best to align these enemies so that he can get a 100% guaranteed back attack on the lower Orky. That's what happened just now. Very nice. And
beautiful.
now he does not have to fight these enemies. He can just go down. That was 100% safe as far as the Orkies are concerned. And yeah, now he's taking a chance encounter with the dragons.
Yeah, definitely the one you want to take the chance encounter with.
Yep, so that was very well played. He did have to rely on RNG for a little bit for both those Orkies to stay in the top left corner and give him the back attack before the bottom Orky decided to go back to the right, But yeah, very well played.
Yeah,
much better than taking your chances. And that was 100%. What you were about to say, huh?
So it's definitely better than risking the entire run. Yeah, that's the difference in experience, though. Taking the time, like we said before, to just.
And he gets rewarded with a second lizard.
Oh my god! The reverse of the situation. Mike picked up his second one. Pank said, "I don't think so."
Yep. So very nice. Very nice. Absolutely no cause for complaining here. From Pancras' side, I would say. Of course, I don't want to speak for the runner. However, even given the points that they haven't marked, I still see the Mikes in the lead points-wise, and that is what matters in the end. We will hope, of course, that all these players here get the Jelly Kill, but that is going to be currently the advantage that Pancras and Quasimorphous has, because Pancras, I would definitely say, I would say has a very good chance at the Jelly Kill, to the point where I, as a runner, would calculate getting it. A lot can happen, of course. So he has to get there first.
Definitely the most convincing situation right now. Looking for that Gorgon Rock right now, it looks like. The extra fractional damage on probably on Salon.
Yeah, if you get 2 fractionals, 2 finishers, that's usually a good balance for items, It's a bit more complicated than that if you get into single items, but yep. Yeah. Oh, and I saw a Parish Punch for Mike. Very nice. That is why he wants Sully too. Except for when you're IP farming, but that never happens. And the Deadly Rod for Quasimorphous.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I think they already had one before, but...
well, if they didn't, then they've got the Curse Lifter to pair with it too, which is fantastic.
Yep.
I think that might actually be the first one or the second one that we've seen. I think someone else got, but... is there a counter for how many times Maxim has kissed the floor? Maxim does tend to love the floor. We should probably install that counter. I think it would be very useful.
I mentioned before that RD is very agility heavy and Decker is very HP and tanky heavy, And Maxim is just a very well balanced character, which coincidentally, there's the old sword. I don't believe it.
Oh my god!
You even called it.
I did call it. There it is.
And balance just means that you don't have any strengths. So, yep.
He does tend to he tends to enjoy his time with his wife, the ground. This floor smells. Floor's house smells too clean. Not enough monster.
Even dozens of floor deep.
Maxim's just very thorough. He said dungeon crawler. He took it literally.
Yep. Yeah, so Mike and Pancras here, I think, are on. I'm actually not sure. Mike might be.
Oh, and there's Trick. They're both around the 70s.
I got nothing. Yeah.
If Pank's about to hit 80, Mike's I think on the mid 70s here. But again, Pancras is just being handed all the tools. The question is whether or not he can make it to the end. Because even having all the tools to kill a jelly, it sometimes is not enough.
Yeah, I would also think that Mike's about to reach the 70s, or already been there. So Pancras is about 10 floors ahead of everyone else. Mike also very far into the cave though, and Mrs. Mike and Plusmorph is almost on the same floors as well. Around 20 floors behind the others, which, you know, is not a bad thing. On the contrary, even if Mike and Pancras cannot, well, I'm saying if, when they do finish their jelly fight, successfully or not, their run will be over, and they can still, you know, help the other teammate out in some shape or form. So, yep.
Yeah.
Could be a strategic decision. And of course, the first 2 players to reach floor 99 will get a point. So, at least 1 player from each team should try to go fast.
Yep. And considering how neck and neck they are right now, that is likely to happen on both sides around the same time. Mike's farming old swords? Is he going?
I mean, we've talked a lot about Pancras's really good equipment here. You know, it's maybe time to talk about some of the other runners' not so good equipment.
Mrs. Mike in a bit of a dire situation here in terms of. Okay, good, makes it out. Very difficult enemy, the Surficos. And I don't know what her deadly situation looks like. I don't think she has any curse lifters. Excuse me, to mitigate the use of a deadly.
And you don't necessarily want to equip the deadly sword if you don't have a curse lifter.
Nope.
Some would even say you shouldn't do it, but, you know, desperate situations call for desperate actions.
Yeah. Mrs. Salon has a fatal pick on. Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's good. That's one deadly to work with, which, you know, in most cases is more than enough. She's definitely got the survivability tools. Everyone does. It doesn't look like anyone's been really skimped on healing and revival and MP items. So, you know, as long as you're not wiped out by an encounter, everyone is going to be able to survive any particular enemy. But in terms of itemery, it's definitely looking a little tougher for the left side at the moment.
Yep. Yeah, and there's also the game-specific goal here, or, you know, since they're not choosing one of the ROM hacks, they're playing the vanilla game, and that has the additional incentive of owning a combined gold total of 666,666. Very easy to say. Thanks a lot, Eli. And yeah, that indeed might be the reason for them to kill these dragons here. As Lily points out in chat, who will be in the race afterwards here, by the way. We do have a second race after this one, featuring Mini Lily and Voodoofs versus Trivictox and Collieros.
A race that I wish I would be around to see. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make that one. But
I mean, there's always the VODs.
Yeah, of course.
Which, you know, for this tournament and the previous ones, you can find on the AC Discord. Shameless plug.
a shameless plug. It's our race.
Fair, fair.
It should be shameless.
It is shameless, you know. You know me.
Da-da-da.
There is so much advertisement on Twitch these days. People aren't even gonna know.
Nah.
You know?
Just tune it out. Apparently, Blue Dragons with Thunder Beast was going for the Thundo Jewel.
Oh yeah, interesting as well.
Oh.
Yep. Perhaps. I can only imagine that. Yeah.
Oh, this is
Not
a little...
equipping blue chest items. I think it's the first tournament where we've seen the incentive, and I don't know. It's kind of never gave it a lot of thought, you know.
I guess it's tough because there are some blue chest items that the second you get them, they're just right on, right? If you get an eye, if you get the twist jewel, if you get some of the the attack and spell weapons, like you don't even think about it. You just hit strongest,
Yeah.
and you know, now you can clear through most enemies without any sort of hassle, especially on the early floors.
Yep.
It's interesting, and it's fun watching everyone like tiptoe around their menus so that they
Yeah.
don't invalidate that point.
It's definitely a lot to do there, and I see like parish punches after parish punches here from Mike Mike's
he's-
Sully 2, so that seems like that was a capsule evolution that was well worth it.
Oh, 100%.
Just remember to switch to a different form when IP farming.
Yep. Are they allowed to swap to a different form while IP farming, or do they both have to swap in order to do that without invalidating?
Yeah, I
that
think
point?
they would both have to swap, but nothing says anything about not being able to swap back, so that's what I would assume.
It's like anyone says Berserk Blades. Yeah. I've seen at least one of those get picked up too, so.
We're
Ooh.
not
Dangerous spot on Possum.
We're not just seeing any runners here. Like, I don't think any of these guys would make that mistake, especially since they're manually equipping items, right? So, yep. Berserk
Yeah,
Blade
that-
usually happens when you're going for strongest equip.
Oh, and our first wipe.
Oh,
Yeah, there goes Possum. Took a bit too many hits from those Hedoras, and that is just going to be it for that particular run. Could try and make a world record push towards the end of the cave, but what we're probably going to see with 41 minutes left on the clock is an attempt to just gather up any auxiliary points that he can. Really unfortunate,
so-
but sometimes it happens.
did you see what actually killed him? Because I did
It
not.
was Hedoras and one of the green plants.
I see.
Ran into the encounter, got group attacked and statused for his life savings. And it just didn't work out for him. You know, his
Yep.
attempt at getting through that and getting a Hedora rock.
So, if I'm not mistaken, they also picked up Ice Walk earlier. However, their elemental choice prevents them from casting that, and Ice Walk is a premium spell to kill Hedoras with. So I wonder if, that made them, choose our options.
Hedora is doing Ice Stream into AoE Punch into Confusion on Maxim, which killed Guy. So, yeah. It was just a series of unfortunate
happens.
events for our
Yep.
good friend Possum.
It happens. That is very much unfortunate. However, as we said in the beginning, not a reason to count them out.
Nope, not at all.
Since, they can still contribute to their team score.
Yep, and there are definitely still points left to snag. It's just gonna be an interesting question of itemry. One thing he definitely is gonna want to try and do right now, though, replace a curse lifter or two, so they can get the uncurse the same item incentive.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you never know. There are a lot of goals, I will say, that do rely on getting to the final floor or very close to it. So I see at least 5 goals in total. Yeah, I think it's 5 goals that do require you to get to the final floor, which are 10 points, respectively. And then there is still a goal for the respective game they chose, which is to allow a Silver Dragon, which is what we see on Pancras' screen right now, to get a full turn in combat. So
God.
yeah, there's 6 goals that will not be easy to get for Possum.
I am really scared for Pank right now. This is a very dangerous play. Oh,
Yep.
but he makes it.
That's the point. That's the point.
But he makes it. Wow. That could have been
Very nice.
really, really bad there. That could have been a potential sacrifice of the run on that point, but makes it out. Gonna have to farm IP now, but that is a difficult point.
Maybe he's gonna give that silver another free turn.
Oh God.
Hopefully not. Nope.
Bard Runner's Dream. Nope, that's
Bard
gonna do
Runner's
it.
Dream.
Man, oh man. So tense. So tense. Anytime you run into a higher than Copper Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite interesting how Copper Dragons are really easy to deal with, but then like Silvers and Golds are like, well, I mean, they're still easy to kill because they're both deadly able.
Yeah.
But whenever they do get a turn,
Every
it's not
extra
pretty, but
turn.
fortunately, their movement pattern is very easy to outsmart.
When is point for all becoming Stardust Blow? That's in the 5-hour run of the Ancient Cave.
Maybe whenever Eli designs these goals here, shout out to Eli, by the way, for putting up this tournament again.
Yeah.
Maybe whenever he does that, his hands immediately go to deadly, and then that just never becomes a thing. So maybe,
yeah. This is a brutal room. Oh, that's right. This is a 6+ chest room. That is a point incentive as well. But I'm wondering if it's... Oh, boy, is it worth attempting?
Seeing a lot of white dragons. More white dragons than I'd like to see, but it seems like it's fine.
Out.
From the position in the room afterwards, after a battle, it looks like that was a movement gamble. That did not quite work out.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them here. That's right, 6+, a U chest room. Open up for Mike. Open up for the mics. We're seeing Pank doing some IP farming on this Copper Dragon here. A bit of a process.
No one's going to take lines from this commentary out of context.
Hey, nothing like a good clip to bring more people into the fold, right?
I did not want to encourage that.
These are just the fun situations that happen with the Ancient Cave community. Join now.
Oh no. Way to give the community a new face.
Yeah.
We tried so hard.
Doing the work here. I work in marketing. This is my job.
I see.
Oh God! No, Mrs. Mike.
I do not see. Yeah.
Nope, that was exact lethal too. Oh man.
That hurts. So,
that does hurt.
Well, as I said earlier, unfortunately, these teams are trying to mimic each other as close as possible, which means that Mrs. Mike eventually had to, find a way to make it look convincing.
She did her best trying to do that 6 chest incentive, and unfortunately did not work out, but it was a valiant attempt. 07s for our 2 slain runners. May they find some final points in these last moments of the game.
It seems like, from what Eli is saying, there was a 1 in 4 chance, which the previous move also looked like a 1 in 4 chance, so
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, when you take a gamble, and sometimes you have to take a gamble. just doesn't work out. That's unfortunate. The Mike Mikes are still ahead on points for what it's worth. Assuming assuming Pancras will have no problem to get to the jelly, which can only hope for.
Needs that
seeing
last
all
little
these
bit of IP
casualties.
on already.
Yep. I can assume that Pancras will get a couple more points, but yeah, this that's of course an option for Mike as well, because he's also very deep in the cave. Should have no problems reaching floor 99 within the 33 minutes that are left. Of course, if the cave agrees.
Incentive to reach the jelly with all 4 characters at max IP.
Yep.
Which we're seeing Pank try and fulfill, and that looks like it. That's 100% IP on Artie.
Yep. He's not at floor 99 yet, but
Nope. But that's the first step. I just realized I think the money incentive is now out of reach for both teams here.
It depends. So it's very possible for a single runner to get that. It just requires slaughtering a lot of dragons, and the problem with that is that eventually, or statistically, in every 5th fight or so, your deadly will not hit. So yeah, there's a little bit of gambling involved with that, but
yeah,
it's
looking
theoretically possible.
But looking at the screens, Pank was at about 327,000 or so. So, especially with how deep he is, I don't think it's probably going to be worth the risk to lose out on all the jelly floor points just to be a Dragon Slayer for a bit.
Yep. And maybe Eli is going to correct me on that, but as far as I'm aware, there is no rule against stream sniping here, because there is not much advantage to be gained from stream sniping, which does mean, however, that Pancras can know, I don't know if he actually does, but he can know which floor the other team is at. He can take his time farming gold, doing this and that.
Looks like he's doing something right now, whether thinking or maybe conferring with Possum to figure out what exactly they want to try and have him do here.
Perhaps. Or, getting a drink.
Running the calculator.
Taking a bathroom break. Running the calculator, yeah. Of course, I mean, you're free to use those 2 hours however you want, so...
Considering he's on the... I think he's on the 90 back up and running. He's got a good opportunity to just... Even if it's just to calm the nerves and shake out your hands a bit. Take just a quick breather. Let yourself relax and make sure you can finish out the last floors with a cool head.
Yep. However, I would assume that they are not stressing out here over these runs. They're ice cold runners of this game. They know what to do. There are no emotions left anymore after this many cave runs. I'm joking, of course.
You projecting a little bit here,
Actually not. I mean, I'm on very good terms, I stopped running on a high. So.
There is only cave. Lily out here with the words of wisdom.
Yep. Yeah, I really would like to know what kind of equipment we're looking at for Mike, because while I did see a few good things, I will say that I'm not thinking that he's anywhere near to a kill.
He's got he's got double lizard blow. Double lizard blow trick.
I don't think
zap.
they're allowed to equip blue chest items even when they reach a jelly floor, right? Yeah,
They shouldn't be able to, no.
There's no exceptions in the rules anyway.
I guess theoretically you would just lose the point.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if it can give you a jelly kill guaranteed or something, or very likely, then of course you're gonna go for it. There are those ground shocks that I'm seeing
Yeah,
and
it's a little
they have a
scary for Mike
24%, whether it's 18 or 24, some of those chance to use ground shock. Yeah, you never like to see it. It's an AoE,
Yeah.
not the weakest AoE.
Definitely
Oh,
not.
there is Deadly Rod for Mike now.
Yeah.
So, for Mrs. Mike, of course, and Mrs. Mike being the one with a furthest back progress now, because her party wipe is only a couple of minutes ago. A Deadly Rod is definitely gonna help in going fast. So wherever she's trying to go, the Deadly Rod is going to help.
So if Mike doesn't have Boom Sword, Lizard Blow, Silver, oh, he just doesn't have a deadly to his name.
Mm-hmm. I see a Super Sword. A lot of fractionals, but
that's a massive problem though. He's stuck between two genies right now.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's even got like Destroy to do it.
Yeah. He's equipped Boom Swords now, and these genies are weak to Thunder, so he's trying to make that work.
Oh boy. Very,
see, confuse
very
ball.
dangerous. Okay.
So.
Yeah, Pank is taking things nice and slow here. He knows he's far ahead of the curve here. He's got a little time to just slow down and make his way over to the jelly floor. That means he has to spend some time dancing with the dragons. He's gonna spend some time dancing with the dragons.
Yep, why not? 27 minutes left. That's over half of the N% world record, you know.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of
Alrighty.
floors to go here.
We got through one of the genies. Mike. Really smart play.
Temporary roadblock. Unfortunately, no other way to the stairs there, so
yep.
He does have to fight through the top ones after all.
No, but now he's got the ability to back attack, get out, and repeat the process with those well genies.
Exactly. Yep.
And
back attacking them again, you get a free turn of attacks against these enemies. You don't want to see their AoEs, but they're reasonably rare, you know. And Mike is using all of his items.
This is what you use them for.
Disadvantage. Yep. I see a reset from Possum. Which, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what caused that, because again, I did not see it.
I didn't see if he took a death or just needed to skedoodle.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a rough room for Pank.
Yep. So normally, once you get to floor 88, you have nothing to worry about, right? So all these movement parents here are perfectly known. They have, very, very little RNG to them. And, they have a lot of RNG to them, but nothing you can't foresee, you know, and don't have adequate time to react to it.
There we go. Trying to get those back attacks. Looks like we're going
Dark Summoners.
Yeah, it looks like we're burning some of that IP. We'll refarm later, but getting through this room is more important.
Yeah. The key thing here is that this corridor is, as I said, a corridor, which means you have very little room to move. And since it's a vertical hallway, you still have a bit more freedom of movement, but still, a lot can happen. These teleporters don't go well with slow-moving dragons. They can easily trap you somewhere. So I can see why Pankers is going for the kill here, get rid of as many of the Dark Summoners as possible. Of course, he doesn't want anyone to die, because that gets rid of their IP, but killing two of them apparently is well enough to not have
survive.
Anyone die here, and being able to pick the remaining two off. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's always a dangerous enemy to mess with, though.
It occurs to me, I didn't realize you could individually target spells. I thought it was an all or one.
Nope, you can manually select as many targets as you want.
Boy, I'm really
That's a very
showing
nice feature of this game.
Really showing that Altair knowledge.
Well, it's something that's easily missed. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Yeah.
one summoner out of the way means you can trap these dragons against one another and hopefully. Ooh.
So you can see he has to do a bit of a dance there. Bit of
That summoner's not leaving
choreography.
him alone.
Yep.
Same strategy though. And we've got enough time to execute it.
And I didn't even recognize it, but Mike does not get to use Sully 2 anymore. Because Mrs. Mike does not have a Form 2 capsule anymore, so...
That's why he swapped back. That makes sense.
I only just
It looks
noticed.
like Mrs. Mike's trying to get her Darby up to 2 really quickly just so that Mike can have access once more. Oh, also, is this the 6 chest room? I think this is the 6 chest room.
Could be. Of course, it doesn't matter where you get it, so yep, that's definitely one of the ways where Mrs. Mike can still... Yep, that looks... there is mimics though.
2, 3, 4,
Yep,
5, 6.
it's 6 though, yep.
Alright,
Nice.
cool. Of course, the dangerous part is the red mimics that are floating around there, but as long as she gets all the chests, it doesn't matter if she dies after. She can just take the wife again. And...
That's a very,
Well, it's a very dangerous situation. Or she could just get champion. You know, that helps.
That's gonna help. There's 5 chests though, if I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think she's gonna try and see if she can get a back attack or a side attack on that mimic. Either that or maybe see if you can go around.
Oh, there's Thunder now for Mike. Very nice. Also, that's what I've been saying over an hour ago for Pancrest. The strongest spell in the element that he can actually use against the Jelly, so that's going to be really good.
Yep. She's back into that room. I think she's just trying to brute force her way through. Level 6 with some decent equipment, that shouldn't be too tough.
Yep, so 22 minutes left to make a couple of points up here. Again, I am assuming that we're actually looking at a score of 9-7.
With the blue chests, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, with the blue chests, but yep, I'm not perfectly sure about that. So, yep. See, public service announcement for our next races runners. Please keep your scores up to date. But there is also a chance that the orange team actually does not have that point, which I don't think is the case, but, I'm just saying I don't want to call anyone out wrongly.
Yep, and scores will get reviewed, during the break, and that'll be Ellison's problem.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, 3 deadly misses for Pank. That's rough.
Yeah, meanwhile, Mike is decimating the Gorgon population, which do drop an item which do drop a fractional item, which appears to be the kind of jelly item that he's still missing.
Yeah, is that 6 deadly misses? Oh goodness. Arby's blind. This is very precarious situation with these double dragons, but you're in a spot where the best thing to do is just try it over and over again until you get it. Using that time wisely.
We can only hope we will see at least one jelly kill today. I think the chances look very good, and also very good that we're gonna see him.
And
shortly.
we got through. That's the first. Now the second one.
Yep, and I took a glance at their gold count, which is at 420 some K. And each of these dragons here drops between 18,000 and 27,000, if I'm not mistaken. So,
So it's not impossible.
Yep. It's not out of the question.
Oh, and we've got the dragon sticking to the back. This may be the moment. Oh, and another double copper. Goodness.
Very nice. That's what you like to see. As I said earlier, it makes a bit of a difference if you don't get to kill on these, whether it's a copper, silver, or gold. Apocemorphous here with a double mini shield.
And I think that's the final chest of that room for Mrs. Mike. Mike, picking up that chest point there.
Yep. Not marked yet, but
No, I think she's
There
got to
was
just
6
check
chests.
the back of the room and make sure that that was all of them. I think it was 7 actually in that space.
yeah, there's at least 6 in that group.
Yep.
I'm guessing that is gonna
Yep,
get
that's-
marked eventually.
Yep, that's the whole room. So,
Yep.
nice. Again, there you go. You know, wiping at a point where you can't get back into the jelly floors, but still more than capable of picking up points.
So 10-5 or 10-7, as it may well be,
Yep.
is the score right now. So as usual, I cannot help to kind of sort of view things from, the in this current situation underdog, aka the orange team, which is slightly back on points. So we are looking at a jelly fight right now. Pancras just reached floor 99, which means that is a point in and of itself, or 2 points actually, since he got there with full IP. There should be pretty amazing music for you guys to hear, not for me though. And yeah,
Oh, I
we'll
can't
now
ban
see
people.
the jelly
Why is
setup.
that happening?
Coming in?
We got a bot.
Oh,
I can't ban them. Oh, here we go. Get out of here!
rip the robot army.
No robots, only jellies. Alright, everyone. Out! Tank may be doing
Osmorphus is
it.
dancing to the beat. What are we seeing? We're seeing Old Sword and Decablade in the first turn.
Oh, beautiful.
Some attack power boosting from
Shrek.
Artie and Sal in the back row.
Alright,
nice.
yep. This is a
So-
very textbook kill right here.
Never mind, there's Ice Walk from Selen.
Oh, I think
I
it's you
stand
can't use
corrected.
the same thing twice point.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, excluding percent-based ISP, do not use the same item spells or IP more than once.
Yep. You are correct.
1637. 4976, what a roll.
Yep, that's very nice to see.
Yep, that's 6917 right off the bat. Huge fatal blow.
And we will see a jump in points once the spell is over here, I reckon.
That's going to be, what, 6 points right here?
The only zap in this battle. Maybe. Dragon Rush from the Liz Blow, very nice.
365. Alright, we're at 8869.
Nice.
Now the question is, can we have someone defend as well? Oh. And
Nice.
that's
the kill.
it. Beautifully
GG to
done.
Pancras, aka one half of the orange team, which does conclude Pancras' run.
Yep.
However, Apocemorphous can still go on. Whether they want to is a different story.
It looks like
Game
Possum is content to just spin in victory over here.
Yep.
And we're seeing the points start to fill in for Pank.
Mhm.
Being the first
So-
person to reach the final floor using exclusive abilities against Jelly, actually defeating the Master Jelly. I think the only thing he didn't do was defend.
Yep. As far as I know. So the one we do have the blue chest goal marked by now, so that was indeed something that hadn't been marked this entire time.
Yeah.
However, the goal of being the first or second among the 4 racers is not marked yet. So Pancras was indeed the first player to get there. Apparently,
Yep.
he was not stream sniping. So yeah, that is actually 10-10 right now.
Yep. Might be 11-10. Possum doesn't have the blue chest equipment filled in. I don't know if he went to one anyways.
All right. Yeah, 10-11. Yep.
Yep, but so it should be 10-11 right now. Yeah. So Despite that distance in points that it looked like from the onset through the run, we are now at a either tied game or one up for the yellow team.
Yep, and the blue chess goal just got marked. So again, the only ones missing is the one that we definitely know they can mark. So it is 10-11 right now.
Alrighty.
Which
So,
does mean, however, assuming no more
Mike's-
points are being discovered on the orange team, that as long as Mike gets to 99, there will be a tie.
Well, it looks like Mike's got the full turn against the Silver Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So we are looking at 11-11.
Yep.
Although he's brute forcing his way through this Silver Dragon, my goodness.
A lot of dancing on the right half of the screen. Definitely GG
He
to
is
these guys
getting
here.
all the bravery. This dragon wants to see him get this point. And he does. All right.
Yep.
All right, he just needs to rush his way down to the bottom floor and do it.
Yep. Again, the score right now is or should be 11-11.
Yep.
So, yeah, it looks like the blue team. I wonder if Plasmorphus is actually aware that they're still allowed to go on, even though just killed the jelly. There was a very slight chance that they might not know, but
we might. Oh, I guess
I don't think that's the case.
What are the remaining incentives that he could get? Uncurse the same item. That would have to be
the
finding
6 chest rooms.
Yep, the 6 chest
That's
rooms.
easy enough.
Yeah, it would be those 2.
Mhm.
Which
Oh,
it is possible actually to get both points. The 6 chest room just requires a lucky party room. The uncurse, just hitting floor 6 to pick up the deadly pick.
Mhm.
Which we saw Pancraz uncurse right before the jelly fight. Would get them 2 more.
Yep, and the orange team found another point somewhere. I'm not actually sure which one it is. But
it might have
we're
been the
now looking
equip
at
only
11 to
one
12.
fatal.
So for everyone else to follow along, since it's been a while since we mentioned that, here is the score link. Well, hopefully anyway. There you go. So you can look at the scorecard. You can look at the scores, and you're probably saying, "RC, why didn't you tell me an hour ago, man?" Yep. We did not push that for a while, but it was also on screen here, right on the bottom middle. So yep. Anyway, now you can look at the scores in detail, as well as all the goals. And if you hover over them, and you will get a question mark on the side, you can look at some clarifications if you really want to get deep into it.
RC?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. It sounded like you cut out on my end. I
Oh,
thought
sorry.
something
I
happened.
probably just stopped talking mid-sentence, which does happen every once in a while.
No worries. I just got a little scared. It's like, not at the very end, RC, no.
I'll
looks
still
like
be here.
it looks like Possum dove back in. I guess they conferred about trying to pick up those points, seeing the score. So I guess we'll see if he can snag those 2 outlying points.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Pank is just content to dance around.
Yep,
Sticky
so-
spot for Mike.
Sorry for being temporarily absent with taking care of some tournament-related urgent messages.
Oh, no worries. Whoa! Yagamoth, the 190 raid. Welcome, Raiders. Good timing. You guys just popped in to catch the end of round 1 here. We'll be 2 in just a little while. But welcome, Yaga friends, to the Jelly Jam. As you can see, we're just in the last moments of the race, but like any good race, it is still super close, and both teams have plenty of opportunity here to take over the other. It looks like there's a point adjustment on the yellow team, so it is a perfectly tied game with both Pos Morpheus on the bottom right and Mike and Mrs. Mike on the left side of the screen, still in competition for the last couple of points on their list. For those of you who just arrived, if you want to see what the points that we're using to determine who wins this race are, you can hit !scores. That will pull up the scorecard for you, and you can see where everyone is right now in terms of completion. So far, we just have Pankraz as having completed a jelly kill, but we've got scores plural. That'll do it. Oh, how dare they! Here, let's see if we can't do it for you. There we go. There you go,
Very
everyone.
nice.
So you can use the jam tracker. You're very. Welcome back, RC. Looks like there was a point adjustment here.
Not by me, I will say. The
But
orange
we are
team
back-
unmarked being the first and second player, but yeah, that's definitely something that Pancras is allowed to claim as far as I'm concerned. But yep.
Yep. So we're from 11-12 to 11-11, which means that now it really is a tight race between Mike, who's at the end of the cave, and Possum, who's still at the very beginning, to try and pick up those last couple of contentious points and secure the run. If it remains a tie, the Pankraz Poff Morpheus team will win by virtue of having the singular jelly kill.
Yeah,
But-
and again, 12 points. Yeah, that goal just got remarked.
never mind.
So
Back up.
yep, Mike is in a bit of a situation here. He's the one where the pressure rests on the blue team, I'm afraid.
Yep.
And
He's on
he
86
has-
here with
Yeah.
7 minutes left and no deadly items with which to clear some of these guys out quickly.
Yep, he does have Zap in his spell list, but apparently no MP.
Uh-oh.
Maybe in general, but at least not right now on Artie. Oh, there's a miracle. Okay, that's probably to remedy that.
Are they using the same
yeah.
seeds? This is not a seeded race, so everyone is seed they got when they opened up their games today.
Everyone is subject to Cave's will.
Yep. So, yeah, it is a pure random run from start to finish.
Oh, and it looks like Possum is back in race. I missed it.
Yeah, he looks. I think he and Pank conferred and realized that there were still, like we talked about, some points
Yep.
left on the table that only he could get. So now the fight is on to get those couple of points, in the hopes that even if Mike makes it down to the jelly floor, they might be able to bridge the gap just a bit, and
Yeah.
keep victory out of the blue team's hands.
On the one hand, I kind of hope it wasn't something that we influenced by talking about it. On the other hand, it wouldn't be great for them to, miss out on those points simply because they forgot about it or something like that. So.
Yep. And there's things to say about both, but I think with how difficult it can be sometimes to remember, the jelly kill's not the end of all runs, and there's still things you can do. They're just a reminder that, hey, you don't have to stop playing the game just because you wiped.
Yeah.
Is just a good reminder for everyone participating in these races of
Yep.
you're never out of it, even when you have to restart towards the end.
Yep. And in general, tournaments in this community are very friendly, I want to say, there has been no need in the past to ban stream sniping or anything like that. So, yeah, it's probably the same with not banning, listening to run commentary is something. Of course, we're not trying to give any help, and I have no idea whether they're listening or not. Oh, Mike here with the smoke ball, nice.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's
still a gamble.
It's not as if
No.
like, say,
Okay.
oh no!
That's fine though.
No!
Even if this doesn't work.
Oh, the tricks!
So this is fine, but It's fine either way.
Oh
Two
my
smoke
gosh.
balls on these dragons here. That's gotta hurt. So
Wow.
naturally, you want to go fast, so that's why I did it.
But boy, man, double trick, just a couple basic attacks. That's insanity.
Yeah, dragons never killed anyone. That saying is past tense for good reason, Eli. But yeah, he stands ground right there.
Yeah, he's got to
He's
book
still
it now,
going.
though. 4 minutes left
4
to
minutes.
breach 11 floor or 10 floors. I guess 9 floors.
Yeah, 9 floors. It's less than you would like to have, but it's still very much possible to do it. So, yeah, it's possible to clear floors in under a minute. The problem is, normally in a run, you can gamble. If it doesn't work out, you reset. Here, there is a bit more on the table.
Looks like Pank just got the party room 6 chests incentive as well.
Oh, this dragon.
Oh no, 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 no. Right in front of the healing tile, too. That's like doubly painful.
Oh, we see double silvers and no surprise attack and no stairs glitch possibility this time. So, yeah,
can we just take
good.
a couple of basic attacks and break? Oh my god. Dude is surviving against all odds.
He's gotten to give it a silver dragon a free turn point now, definitely.
Yeah.
Cemented.
I would have laughed so hard if that dragon side attacked him on the way out of the stairs.
And look at these rooms, man. Like every single room is, every single floor is somewhat of a puzzle room, Now at least he's gotten some room to breathe. We're looking at 2.5 minutes here.
It's so difficult too because if he gets this string of staircases like this right here, he might actually make it down to the.
Oh
last
man, this
points.
is.
Oh, it's so tense.
In the meantime, I actually have no idea whether you mentioned it, but Posmorphus got the 6 chest goal.
Yeah, I did.
11 to 30. Okay, you got it.
Yeah, he pulled it on a room just like a couple floors ago. Oh my god. Obviously, as a commentator, you want to be impartial, but he's got 2 floors to go. I want to see it happen just because it'd be like a literal buzzer beater right here at the end of the freaking first round of the tournament. Oh my god.
I'm not taking sides here either, but just having to take this dash right at the end of the time limit well, I mean, whether it's for the win or not is a different story, right? But
yeah, right. But you just want to make it.
Exactly.
It's so tense.
He has to make it. And
one more floor.
Once he does make it, I guess he can at least tie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they still won't break the tie because they've got the jelly kill, based on time, for Pank. But oh no, not like this. Not on the last.
And not only is he making Altair here get a heart attack for all I can tell.
I'm so jazzed up. This is the sort of thing that makes a tournament run so exciting. It's just that last second, mad dash. Can we see the point? Oh no, we got cinder blasted.
So, what I think I saw is the stairs on the bottom right in this very room that he's in right now, and
he missed them.
He saw it.
Please tell me that's not true. Yeah, the whole chat saying it's on the bottom right side.
Yeah.
No, you've got 30 seconds, man. You gotta make it.
Knowing Mike's internet somewhere in the Himalayas, he's not gonna be watching the stream, and he's not gonna be listening to us. So it doesn't
matter. He's on the bottom anyways. There's nothing he can do to get around. I think he just realized it's in this room.
Yep.
10 seconds. No.
So, you can't blame Mike for doing this.
I know, I can't. He did the best he could, but that's gonna be time. Please don't wipe. Okay. That would have been like that is even
very
worse.
Unfortunate.
He double diamond dusted for his life savings at the very end. Oh man, what a great race.
Yeah, I just want to say you can't blame Mike in this situation. You got to go fast. You got to make decisions fast. You know.
No,
Every
absolutely.
single dragon encounter here was not optimal, but it's very much justified why it wasn't optimal.
Oh, and we're getting Stardust blowed for our entire existence.
Yep.
There it is.
We
Merry
also
Christmas,
have a couple
everyone.
of people with us in chat. Hey guys, GG to everyone.
Yeah, great race, guys.
All becoming Stardust blow in the end after all.
Yeah.
As all things should be.
Oh man, that was what a phenomenal run from everyone.
Mhm.
Mike with the craziest almost tiebreaker that he could come up with. That would have been
Oh
nuts
my
because
God,
there were 3 points up for grabs on his side if he defended,
Yeah.
didn't use duplicate actions, and just got there. That's 3 points.
Just got there. Yeah, that would have been the final swing.
I figured phrasing it as at least 2 would be the most diplomatic way of not spoiling, as well as, you know. Yep. GG to everyone. That was a close race if I've ever seen one.
So you guys are gonna
Lots
go
of
back
ups,
to the
lots of
commentary.
downs. There was a ton of
Freaking out.
There's so much exciting stuff to see. It was absolutely a run that is worth watching, worth learning from. There was quite a bit that happened in this particular round that new players like Pasta Morpheus and you guys in the audience, just there's so much to see. There's a reason to participate in these events, whether or not you're an expert in the cave, and it should be a run like this. It can inspire you to participate in ancient cave shenanigans in the community, or even on your own, just to familiarize yourself with a fun roguelike that doesn't require dexterous fingers and a wealth of knowledge to play. Just good old-fashioned taking your time and having fun is great. But GG to Pancras, GG to Pasta Morpheus, and Mike and Miss Mikey 2 did wonderful as well. That last stretch was butt clenching.
That was probably like the most excited I've gotten at the end of one of these. And they, like, don't get me wrong, these runs are usually very hype. There's a lot to enjoy, just in terms of how you guys approach it. But just watching the timer count down with those last floors ticking by was a legitimate treat. It was, and you guys kept such a tight race that it really mattered, and that's why it was such a wonderful moment. So, you know, just phenomenal work from everyone today. You guys started this tournament off in the best way possible.
Well, with that, I'll let all of our runners, commentary guys, get a drink, take a bathroom break, do whatever, because just like that, we have a quick break where we get to prepare for round 2, featuring the returning participants Travatox and Calieris, and Mini Lily and Voodoo's 2 runners or teams who are very, very comfortable with the cave. Both have demonstrated performance in past events many times and done a fantastic job. So sit tight, get a drink, take a break, use the bathroom, do whatever you need to do. We'll see you live for the next round in about 15 minutes.
See you guys.